My name is Barr. I'm a 6th grade reading and writing teacher at Mark Twain Elementary, which is a school in the Chicago public school system.
My name is Brenda Castro. I'm a 7th grader at Mark Twain Elementary School.
I've participated in 3 separate seminars over the course of 4 years, and during that time assumed the role of city rep for our city, so assumed more of a leadership role in our local work. So my poetry unit, it's a unit that I developed, I believe, 3 or 4 years ago. And the purpose of the unit was to, building off of seminar content, to have students play with poetry. So in seminar we read multiple different types of poems, different forms, different structures, and the whole concept was, if you know, just like you'd play a game, the rules of a game, poetry kind of operates the same way. So when it comes to that, we read a bunch of different poems, and then I selected a body of poems that I thought would be appropriate for my students, and had them basically replicate the same sort of process. Let's talk about structure, let's talk about style, let's build our interpretive skills, and once you know the rules of the game, go play it yourself. Develop your own poetry, try to craft it, pick topics and ideas that are meaningful for you, and then play the game. And consistently, year after year, it's always a unit that students tend to prefer out of all the units that I teach. So it's nice to see the longevity of students finding value in that unit.
So at first, I wasn't really happy about the idea when I heard we were learning about poetry, because I've actually struggled with it a lot. That was not my strength. And when Mr. Barr announced the class, I was like, why do we have to do the unit that I struggle with it a lot? So this unit, it actually really helped me in the way he taught it. With the poems, he had us reading, we did some together, finding the structure, the rhythm, and the style of the poems. And then he said, he chose some poems and had us make our own poetry after he helped us, and we had the opportunity to do it ourselves. So it was a unit, and it actually took a while for me to go from not liking it to making poetry. So I think what helped me the most was that at first he started reading poems with us, talking about the structure, introducing it to us, and then we started making some together. And little by little, we took step by step, and he started letting us do more independent work. It was really hard at first when he told me. I was really excited that I was gonna come, but when he actually let me know, it's gonna be around 100 people in the room, my nerves started going everywhere. I was really nervous and scared that I'll mess up or go anything wrong. So it was a lot of pressure, but I tried calming down, which I was able to do. Before I entered Mr. Barr's class, poetry was something I was not comfortable with, much less enjoyed. I struggled with it a lot because I couldn't identify simple structures. In the poetry unit, we had the opportunity to study different types of poems with different types of structure, style, and rhythm. We talked about and analyzed these poems and used them as models to create our own poetry. Poetry is more than just a bunch of words that rhyme or that are written in a certain structure. I learned that poems have a feeling behind them, and sometimes even a message.
I had no doubts about her presenting. At the end of the year, so one morning actually, and it happened here, I was during one of the morning talks where Joe Roach was talking about eloquence. I thought he gave a fantastic morning speech, and I was taking notes on a napkin because I didn't happen to have notebook paper, and he was talking about the rhetorical triangle and persuasive techniques, and I thought, that's something my kids could do. So it was, one of those moments where the light bulb goes off, and it's like, I'm gonna write a unit about that. So not only was, my focus here on the unit and the work that I was doing that was relevant to my seminar, but other ideas are sparked here. So out of that unit that I created, that wasn't a Yale unit, but it was just a unit that I created for my students, at the end of the year, Brenda gave a lovely speech about animal abuse. And it wasn't just in front of, she gave it in front of her class, but then we had a speech competition where we got into the auditorium, and there's 140 kids in 6th grade. So if she can deal with 140 6th graders and hold their attention, adults who are teachers and like kids, they're gonna keep going, and it's gonna be a friendly audience. So I had no doubt about Brenda being able to perform. So I wasn't shocked or worried in the least bit. I had many other things to worry about. That wasn't one of them. So I was really pleased.